Hello and welcome back to day 3 of the Olympic Oval International and the Fall World Cup trials. Starting off this morning, we are 8 pairs into the men's 500 meters for the Oval International. Coming up next, this is Matthew Laxton in the inner lane. He's in the white armband. Caleb Mueller in the outer with the red. Before our broadcast started, Jeff Ross skated a big personal best, and he's at the top of the leaderboard with a 35.84, cracking that 36 barrier. Conrad Nagy was right behind him, 35.94. Connor Woods with a 36.20 was in third. As Caleb Mueller took that opener, 10.66 his opening split. Matthew Laxton, 10.72. But it looks like Mueller's going to take the lead down the final stretch. Caleb Mueller's final time, 38.37. Matthew Laxton, 38.66. As we move on to our 10th pair now, this is Max Halleck from Alberta in the inner, and Eric Orlowski from BC on the outer. Max Halleck yesterday skating a 38.18. He'll be looking to beat that time today. And they are neck and neck through 100 meters, 10.7 for both skaters. See who has the faster lap here as Halleck crosses over into the outer. Orlowski chasing him down that back stretch. Into the final corner, trying to hold the turn as Max Halleck will take a lead into the finish line. His final time, 37.96. That is a improvement over yesterday. Okay, moving on to our 11th pair. This pair will feature Thomas Mélin from France in the inner lane, Jack Dybert from Alberta in the outer. Mélin chasing a personal best of 38.44. And they're off, clean start. This is Mélin and Dybert as they come through 100 meters. Dybert has the lead, 10.90, 11.0 for Thomas Mélin. Jack Dybert's personal best is a 38.01. He'll be looking to crack that 38 barrier. See if he can do it. As they come into the finishing stretch, Dybert with the slight lead. Final times, 38.63 for Thomas Mélin, 38.66 for his pair. Up next, Max Brandt from Ontario in the inner lane. He's racing Sam Pollock from Alberta in the outer. Clean start for these two skaters. Pollock, earlier in the competition, skating a 38.62. He'll be looking to improve upon that mark as they're through 200 meters, crossing over on the backstretch. Skaters exchange lanes every lap. In long track speed skating, 500 meter, that means they change lanes once. As Max Brandt will lead the way, his final time 38:32. Sam Pollock 38:73. As we have a look at the next pair. This is Hunter Hewlett from Manitoba in the inner lane, Tyler Hartleb from Alberta in the outer. Hunter Hewlett's personal best, 38:57. And Hewlett chasing that PB comes through 100 meters, 10:74. Hartleb 10:96. Crossing over on the backstretch. Tyler Hartleb's personal best, a 38:21. So a well-matched pair here as they come out of the final corner. Hartleb in the lead. Hewlett chasing hard as they come across the line. Final times 38:7 for Tyler Hartleb. Hunter Hewlett 38:8. Up next, two Albertan skaters. This is Hobbs Holder in the inner lane and Mark Golden in the outer. Mark Golden earlier in the competition skating a 38:85. He'll be looking for faster today. False start. Looks like that was the inner lane. Holzer just inching over the line before the gun. So a false start has been charged to the field now. Skaters will have to be careful as they line up again. Bit of movement on the line, but they're off cleanly. And this is Holzer with the lead through 100. His opening split, 10:86, 10:88 for Mark Golden. Anyone's race at this point. Through the first corner, trying to get up to speed. Their coaches yell them on in the background. One coach, actually, that's Mike Ireland, my mistake. And some slips there in the inner lane from Mark Golden, but looks like he will maintain his lead through the last 100 meters. Mark Golden finishes the final time of 39.
Take it up.
I caught an edge coming down the side, and he lost his balance going into that last turn.
Oh wow.
Let's take a look at our next pair. This is Noah Bauma and Oliver Sharp in the outer. Both skaters from Ontario. Oliver Sharp yesterday skated at 38:88. A bit faster today. He leads the way through 100 meters, 10:66, and Noah Baumann going down at the very beginning of the first quarter. Luckily, Sharp slipped ahead of him. No contact between the two skaters. As Sharp will finish this race alone, he will come across the line. His final time, 38:75. That is faster.
Probably should have focused on that crash, right?
Personal best. Oliver Sharp.
I always prefer the race itself to the crash.
Okay, good.
Small delay as the race crew inspect this to make sure there are no differences. next at 9:55 will be the ladies 500 meter. Ladies will be followed by the men's 1,000 meter around 10:50 Mountain Time. Stay tuned for some great racing. The best skaters in the country will be on the ice at 1 o'clock Mountain Time with the ladies and men's second 500 meter of the Canadian World Cup selections for the Fall World Cups. Chance to watch some of the best skaters in the world duke it out on fast ice here today. The ladies 1,000 meter for the Oval International will follow, followed by the World Cup selections, ladies and men's 1,000 meter at the end of the day around 3 o'clock. Stay tuned for some more great racing. It seems like we are ready to go again. This is Oliver Lindeskov from Denmark on the inner lane. Alexander Horst in the outer. And it's a tight race through 100. Both skaters 11-2. As they cross over in the backstretch. It looks like Horst has got a great corner there as he was chasing down his pair. Let's see if he can maintain that lead into the final corner. And coming out, it's still a close race, but Alexander Horst looks like he has a slight lead. Lindeskov coming back. Final times 39:57 for Lindeskov. Alex Horst 39:8. Let's have a look at our next pair. This is pair 17. Joshua Hathaway from Alberta in the inner. Dawson O'Brien also from Alberta in the outer. These skaters are off. Through 100 meters. O'Brien with the lead. Just under 11 seconds. 10:96. 11:0 for Hathaway. Josh Hathaway's personal best. 39:74. He'll be looking to beat that here today, as he trails his pair, Dawson O'Brien, into the final 100 meters. As they come across the line, Dawson O'Brien, 39:4, 39:73 for Josh Hathaway. That is a personal best by 1/100th of a second. We've seen a number of personal bests here today before the broadcast started. Jeff Ross with a blistering time of 35:84. Antoine Roger set a personal best of 36:46. Jonah Utsubi's 37:2 skated a PB. Frank Roth, the 37:09, tied his personal best. If we look at our next pair, we had a false start from Zachary Lacroix in the inner lane. He's racing Paul Coder in the outer. These two skaters will have to be careful in this next attempt. And they're off cleanly. This is Lacroix and Coder. As they come through 100 meters, Paul Coder with a slight lead. 10:79, 10:99 for Zach Lacroix. Crossing over on the backstretch. Two young skaters here from Alberta. Zach Lacroix's personal best, 39:96. See if he can beat that here today as Paul Coder leads the way. In through the line. Coder's final time, 39:37. Zach Lacroix, 39:45. Big personal best for Zach Lacroix. Paul Coder also setting a big personal best, breaking 40 seconds for the first time. Paul Coder with a 1 second PB in the 500 meters here today. Great race from Lacroix and Coder. This is Caleb Hovey and Rob Cunning. Looks like Rob Cunning got off Caleb Hovey got off the ice just before the start. So Rob Cunning will start on his own, racing solo here, rocketing through 100 meters. Rob Cunning's opening split time, 11:1. His personal best is a 39:80. Yesterday he skated a 40.75, so he'll be looking to improve upon that, get closer to his personal best here today as he finishes on the inner lane. Skating all by him lonesome. He comes through the finishing line. His final time, 41:14. This is our next pair. Pair 20, Isaiah Jesse Uribe from BC in the inner lane. Darius Eschetti from Austria in the outer. They were held for a long time on that start line. Bit of movement in both skaters, but they are off cleanly. Jesse Uribe with the lead. His opening split 11:1. Eschetti 11:69. Crossing over on the backstretch. Uribe with a lead through the first 100 meters. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Isaiah Jesse Uribe chasing a personal best of 40:35. Let's see if he can beat that here today. Darius Eschetti will win it though. His final time, 41:51, 41:78 for Isaiah Jesse Uribe. As we have a look at our 21st pair. Two skaters from Alberta. This is Zain Syed Ahmed and Ian Dwyer. Ahmed moved to Calgary to do his PhD. And he is opening split 11:49, 11:66 for Dwyer. Crossover in the backstretch. Into the final stretch. Ahmed chasing a personal best of 42:63. He takes this race 41:99. That's a personal best for Zain Ahmed. Up next, Brad Hudy and Bob Irvine, two master skaters. Hudy from Saskatchewan, Irvine from Alberta. And a false start here in our 22nd pair. That was Bob Irvine in the outer lane, false starting. So Bob Irvine's personal best was skated way back in March 2009. His season best this year is a 43:63. We'll be looking to improve upon that. And it's close through 100 meters, but Brad Hudy has a slight lead. His opening split 1166. Irvine, 1178. Brad Hudy, his personal best dates back to 2006. His season best is a 42:30, so he'll be looking to beat that as they come through the final line. This is Brad Hudy finishes up with a 41:07. That's a season best for Brad Hudy. 42:96 for Bob Irvine. That's also a season's best. So good 500-meter times for both Masters skaters as we move on to our next race. This is Caden Witkowski from Alberta and Aj Seddon from Manitoba. So Witkowski and Seddon coming through 100 meters. 11:79 for Caden Witkowski. Aj Seddon, 11:84. As they cross over in the backstretch. Witkowski trying to hold his lead, but Seddon was coming on hard on the backstretch. He will take the last inner and will take the lead into the final stretch. Aj Seddon, AJ Seddon, mistake, his final time, 41:88. That is a big personal best for AJ Seddon. Let's have a look at our next pair. This is Matthew Scutchings from Saskatchewan and Tim Bushell from Alberta. And they're off cleanly. This is Scutchings and Bushell. Matthew Scutchings chasing a personal best. He set last year at the finale competition, 40:45. See if a summer of hard training paid off, as he has a big lead on Tim Bushell through the first 200 meters, crossing over on the backstretch. Scutchings will finish on the outer. Bushell will finish on the inner. Will come through the finishing line. Matthew Scutchings, his final time, 41:04. Big improvement over Friday's time. Tim Bushell, 46 flat. Up next, this is our 25th pair. 3 pairs to come in the men's 500 meter. Donnie Hrinnick in the inner lane. He's racing Robert Black in the outer. It looks like Black has a slight lead through 100 meters. Robert Black's opening split, 12:26. Donnie Hrinnick, 13:04. Donnie Hrinnick's personal best was set last year at finale, 45:29. Let's see if he can beat that here today, as Robert Black has a big lead over him into the final stretch. His final time, 44 even. Donnie Hrinnick, 47:76. 2 pairs left in the men's 500 meter at this Oval International competition. Stay tuned after the men's 500 for the ladies 500 meter. That will be following a quick ice flood. So this pair features Dino Elaz from Alberta and Ryan Grabarczyk from Saskatchewan. A clean start for both skaters. Through 100 meters, they are neck and neck. Opening splits, 11.9 for Grabarczyk and Elas, 12.04. As Dino Elas crosses over on the inner lane, Grabarczyk will try and pass him on that backstretch, and he falls right in front of his pair from the inner lane into the mats. So Dino Elas will finish this race on his own. Ryan Grabarczyk falling in the last corner. Elas, final time, 44.96. As we will now wait as the referees quickly check the ice. One race to come in men's Oval International 500. And we will have to wait a little for the start of this race. Two skaters on the line. It will be Joshua Coel from Alberta and Nicholas Hiller from BC. But they will have to wait as the referees make sure the ice is safe to skate on. So coming up later this morning, 9:55 Mountain Time, will be the ladies 500 meter for the Oval International. That will be followed at approximately 10:50 with the men's 1,000 meter. Stay tuned later in the day for the Fall World Cup trials, where the best Canadian skaters duke it out to represent the country on the international stage. And it looks like we've got the seal of approval from the referee, and so these two skaters will line up for our final 500 meter. This is Joshua Coel from Alberta and Nicholas Hiller from BC. Coel's personal best was skated a year ago in September. His best time was a 44.37. He'll be looking to improve upon that. Nicholas Hiller's personal best, a 36.89. So expect a fast race here in the outer lane from Nico Hiller as we get a false start. Charge to the inner lane. That was Joshua Coel. So expect Nico Hiller to go over the top of his pair. His personal best nearly 7 seconds faster. Coel will get the opportunity to chase a fast pair, hopefully to a quick time, as Hiller comes through 10.5, his opening split. Coel 11.6. And indeed, Nico Hiller goes over the top of his pair in the final stretch. Both skaters looking low and strong on that back stretch. As they come into the final stretch, Nico Hiller leading the way, his final time, 37.51. Coel, 43.03. That's a personal best for Joshua Coel by over a second. So he had the opportunity to chase Nico Hiller, and he chased him to a personal best. So that wraps up our men's 500 meter this morning. the Oval International. Fastest time of the morning was Jeff Ross with a blistering 35.84. That's 2 500s in a row under 36 for Jeff Ross. He is on a good weekend. Konrad Nagy from Hungary was right behind him, 35.94. And rounding off the top three, Connor Woods with a 36.2. So stay tuned. We will be back on the ice at 9:55 with the ladies 500 meters.